So it's been a really long winter, and a lot of people have asked, are things going to be changing? What's going on in the marketplace? Things of that nature. And so this report is here to help you understand where things are at, what's going on. Like, everyone has their own particular marketplace that they're interested in. When they say, how is the market? They're not looking at it from the standpoint of the whole entire Orangeville market. They're looking at it for their marketplace. And it can change from neighborhood to neighborhood. And so with this report, take it as a grain of salt, because it is for the whole of Orangeville. And depending on where you are, whether you're on the west side or whether you're on the east side or central or whatever, each one of those marketplaces will have its own activity. So my name is David, and I'm a realtor at Remax in town here in Orangeville. And what I like to do with this report is to basically say, hey, if you were standing right next to me and looking over my shoulder, and this is kind of what we're looking at with regards to trends, what's happening and everything else. And so with this report that I'm showing you here, this report basically is not the Orangeville market, but it's the GTA. Okay, and we're part of the GTA. Now, the reason that I'm showing you this type of graph is because when you're looking at raw numbers and you're looking at to figure out where the trends are, there's a real inherent value with large numbers as opposed to the smaller numbers that we would see in Orangeville. So we can see more consistency with trends of where things are. So with the report, with this, we can see from where we were at the end of last year to January, and then we see this spike that's led up into February, and this is typical. This is what we normally start to see, and then it kind of peaks at around in the middle of springtime, and then it drops off kind of at the end of the summer, and then picks up again. So this just following normal trends of where things are at. So on the left hand side is prices. Okay, and across the bottom is the months. All right, and so we've already seen a big spike from the last month. You can see it's kind of pretty much gone up 3 rungs already to where we're at right now. And one of the reasons is there's been such this lack of supply, and in the GTA, we have seen numbers drop down to like 24,000 listings that are currently on the market when we normally have 35. So that huge 10,000 is a big number. And so we're starting to see these spikes. And the other thing that we're also starting to see is there's low starts. So any new construction that's going on, there's these numbers. And the reason why we see those numbers start to dip is because they go in 6-year trends, and it takes a while to get a project, going. From the time that you purchase the land, to do the whole subdivision layout and design and approvals, it can take a long time. So when you're forecasting out so long, that's the reason why you start to see these dips. And when those dips happen, the resale homes start to pick up. And when those resale pick up, the prices start to rise. So you have this whole supply and demand thing happening as well. So a lot of that's happening right now, even though we've seen some new construction starting to happen in the west end of Orangeville. That's helping with the absorption rate, but it's not keeping pace with really what's going on in reality. There's a huge demand of people coming from the city wanting to get out of the city, looking for a different lifestyle, and they're looking for it here in Orangeville. So that's why we're starting to see that really uptick in price. Now, that being said, wintertime has been kind of rough. I mean, we've had a tough time with a lot of the snow and everything else that's been going on. And that's kind of dragged down sales for January, February, and even going into March. Like, we don't have the March numbers yet, but we will at the beginning of April. Now, so we look at the February numbers here, and we can see, we've had 20 sales in February. New listings came out. We had 52, and so our sales to new listing ratio is 38%, and that's it's normal when you start seeing that in February. Probably in April you'll start to see that actually number be a lot higher. Days on market still low, 40 days. So there has been that, buyers are there. They're looking to buy the property. The days on market's not staying up there so long, but it's just the amount of homes that have come up that's brought that number down. Semi-detached, we haven't had a whole lot, but we've had 5 sales, 9 new listings. We've got an absorption rate of 55%, and they're selling in about 12 days. Semis don't last very long, and we're starting to see the number start to rise from what it was at the low in December. And then freehold townhomes, we only had 1, which sold in a day. And you can see that there's big activity in those numbers. Even though it's only 1, we have low numbers. That's just what it is in Orangeville. But again, people are there. They're waiting. They're waiting for the townhouses to come up. So it's one of those things where I have a number of people say, hey, David, I'm looking for these properties, detached, or I'm looking for a townhouse. Let me know when they come up. So you're always asking, what's going to happen. In due time, properties do come up. So for people who are thinking about selling, right now this is the time. We're in the spring market, believe it or not, even though we got mounds of snow out there. And then last month, we saw 30 sales, active 119. So our absorption rate, or our sales to new listing ratio, is 44%. Now 44% is basically a balanced marketplace. Anything 20% and lower is considered a buyer's market, and anything more than 50% is a seller's market. So we're inching up on the seller's market just for last month, but it was pretty balanced. And then our year to date, we've got 59 sales, 117. It's 50% is where we're at for absorption rate. So we're trending into that seller's marketplace. And our average sale price, median price is $335,000. Average days 42 days on the market, with an average selling price 98%. So a lot of really good numbers in this as to what's going on. And then there's just some nice things that people have said about us. And then over here we've got this report. It's online, and I'm actually going to be posting it with all the other prices of homes that have sold in the last 90 days for single detached, semis, townhouses, condos, all that. There'll be links in here. So obviously if you're watching the video, you're already seeing all the links down below. So, but if you're not, if this is your first time, you can take advantage of seeing that. And you can just head over to OrangevillePriceReportOnline.com, and you can download your PDF there as well. So if you want to know more, there's a couple of things that you can kind of take advantage of right now. One of them is the free pinpoint price analysis, and that's where we get a closer look at what's going on in your marketplace, what's going on in your neighborhood. And that's a lot different than what this report can give you. This is more of a whole thing of Orangeville. This is where we'll come down, we'll look at all the comparables, and we'll go through all the things that's been going on in your marketplace, comparables of homes that is like yours. So that's one thing that you can take advantage of. The other one is a room-by-room review. And a room-by-room review is, again, I'll come over, we'll sit down, we'll talk, you can show me your place. And this is where we get a little bit detailed as to things that you can do that could actually increase the amount of money that you can make, or the things that you may want to shy away from because it doesn't really add any value to the sale of the home. A lot of people think, it doesn't matter what I do to a home, it'll add value. And it's not the case. So this is some of the things that we talk about. And then the silent market is the last one, and that is where, I do a video every day about all the new homes that have come up for sale. And so it's the Orangeville Daily Homes. And so by doing that, there's also like this waiting list of people who are out there looking for a property. And so when it comes up, they'll know. And it's finding a buyer for your property even before it goes on. It starts 90 days ahead of time, and that's what I've been doing. So you start to formulate, this matching of properties and trying to find the right fit for your clients, for and sellers when the time comes. So, anyways, these are just some of the things that I can provide. So, My name's David. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and until next month, have an amazing day, and we'll see you in March or probably April. Bye for now.